All right. All right. Welcome to Soul Food Cafe today with a small group, but small but powerful. And yeah, I love this flow code. My possibilities are endless. I'm progressing, overcome challenges. Just the right thing for today. And the topic for today is inspired by dear Suzanne in the hospital. How do we overcome obstacles? How do we overcome obstacles?
It depends on what type of obstacles they are.
Okay. So what type of obstacles do you have in your life?
They're not really obstacles as much as like, define obstacles. Obstacles, it means that something is blocking something to happen, right?
I would say obstacle is something that doesn't go according to my vision and my plan.
So for me, like, it's finding a job is an obstacle. I've always thought I will be working by now and not being able to find a job in Sweden. So that is one of the obstacles.
So is finding the job the obstacle, or what is the obstacle?
Yes, finding a job to work or to be productive, like to have a professional job or something to be productive, actually.
Do you have to have a job to be productive?
I'm saying it and I'm thinking about it.
Because for me,
I'm very productive.
Yeah,
I'm very productive, but I do lots of things. But when I say job, it's like, it's nice to have a job in terms of employed, having a salary. You feel like I'm contributing, independent financially, from that sense.
Okay. Now, one thing that I don't quite understand still is finding the job the obstacle, or is finding the job the desired outcome?
No, of course, the desired outcome. It's not, the obstacle is not like not being able to find a job. Am I saying it doesn't make sense?
If I think about obstacle, then it's something that is in the way of actually achieving that desired outcome, something that needs dealing with. So what is it that you need to deal with?
An obstacle.
Yeah, but what is that then? What's in the way? So for me, an obstacle is not necessarily a block, but it's something that I need to deal with, because a block is kind of a stop. And I don't think of obstacles that way, but there is something there that is there for you to deal with, I think.
But there is nothing I can deal with, because the prognosis of my field in Sweden is quite low. So when there is an opportunity for a job in my many people who are younger and more skilled, because they are much younger and just freshly graduate. So it becomes very difficult for me to really get one. So there is not much for me to do, except that I'm learning myself lots of skills and trying to be up to date and trying to involve myself in different activities to keep on practicing and developing. That's all what I can do right now.
Okay. And the belief system that the obstacle is so and so and it's difficult to overcome, is that serving you? Is that serving anyone? Is that ever serving?
The obstacle, you mean? Or
no, the belief system around the obstacle, the belief system that it is that it is difficult to overcome?
Yeah, the thing is, yeah, my belief system needs a bit of confidence, but things are interrelated. Yeah.
Do you want, Hara, do you want to play with me a little bit similar interview questions?
Okay.
Because I've done this a few times and I'm quite good with that, to simulate interviews, especially for Sweden. Okay, so maybe we go on a coffee date.
Okay.
But if it's the interview itself, I can help you with that.
I'm not reaching the interview stage.
Okay, all right. Okay. So the obstacle is, okay, all right, good. So yeah, so there's an obstacle and there's a belief system around the obstacle that it's difficult to overcome.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, all right. And what just came to me when you spoke, that there's a lot and the prognosis is small, and I can't count the amount of times where I did exact the opposite from what the prognosis was. And for example, coming here to Sweden, it was clear we're going to move, right? 3 months time, we're going to move. So it was crystal clear in my mind. We need a house. We need to have a furnished house before we get there. So I made that decision. I didn't do any research. I just said, okay, we need a house. And it was just me in my full protective mommy mode. I need to have a house for my kids when we move from South Africa to Sweden. We need to have a place. Okay, that's it. For at least, what, 6 months to a year before we can buy a house. Okay, it's got to be furnished because we weren't going to take our old stuff with. Besides, anyway, so. And then I started looking for houses. And then my husband came and did the research, and he came and said, do you know how difficult it is to find? I said, no, I only need one. I only need one. I don't care if there's 100 available or only 5 available. I only need one. So I don't care how many are available. I only need one. You know, and if there are 5 available, I need one. Okay, that's it. And this is how I looked at it. And yeah, 6 weeks later, we had a house signed and sealed, furnished, perfect location, everything. Okay. So that's the belief system around an obstacle. But now the definition of an obstacle is also very interesting, what Rennie brought up, because you said block, and I find the obstacle is almost a little bit softer. It's almost a little bit softer and is already more inviting to be solved.
Mm.
But there's other obstacles. And yesterday I was thinking, for example, physical obstacles. You know, how is that going to go? So what is your take on that, Rennie?
On physical obstacles?
Well, anyone.
Yeah, like I said, I don't, for me, an obstacle is something that stops me in my tracks temporarily. And I really want to stress the temporarily bit, because it's just something that is throwing me off course, or I need to deal with before I can move on. And so I like to see it as hurdles that I can jump over more than blocks that I'm running into. And I think language is really important for me around all of this. If I think in terms of obstacles and impossibilities and difficulties and mountains to climb, and it's not working out, or, you know, if I get myself into that mindset, then I'm setting myself up for disappointment and failure. and I'm less likely to actually deal with what is presented to me to be dealt with. So for me, overcoming obstacles is very much like, okay, what is the next best step I can take in this particular situation? Yeah. And having a belief that whatever is on the other end of it that I'm working towards is very possible, despite what I'm coming up against along the way. So it's about trust and faith and vision and purpose and having clarity. The more clear I am on where I'm heading, the more able I am to deal with what's coming up for me while getting there, if that makes sense. So if I'm looking at obstacles in my current life, I would like more money. So I'm not saying I don't have enough, but I would like more. So, you know, it's very much about language, and because that helps me stay clear on where I'm heading. Yeah.
Reni, I have a question for you. When you are really clear about your objective, do you manage to keep it all the time focused and clear? Or do you have those ups and downs where
ups and downs,
you lose it every now and then?
Yeah, I've got ups and downs, and I've got moments where I'm going completely kind of, and I just need to kind of shout it out, feel it and let it go and cry or whatever. But then, you know, that's why my whole meditation and affirmations and the whole visioning and all that stuff is so important for me, because that's where I keep reminding myself of where I'm heading. Yeah. And then I just get on with the day, see what comes up, deal with it the best way I can. And then I sit and meditate again. And I just sit and I focus. And then I get on with the day, or go to bed, or depending on, you know. So it's very much about language for me. It's about clarity, and it's about shit happens. So what do we do next? Sorry, excuse my language, everybody.
No, but it's true. But it's true. It happens. You know, the saying, life is what happens while you're busy making other plans. Yeah. Right. You know, but this is what makes, in my opinion, life interesting as well. You know, I mean, in South Africa, we always had the African factor, you know, and you knew it was coming somehow along the way, right? And something totally random, arbitrary, totally out of the blue is like, what? And now what? You know,
what's the African factor? The unexpected.
It's the unexpected. Expect the unexpected. And then there's a saying in South Africa in all languages, okay, we'll make a plan. We'll make a plan. And that's what it is. And that's the attitude, because there's always something happening, you know, some random stuff that you could not plan for. Okay. So now I think, hello, Gisela. Obviously, you know the topic, so feel free to jump in a moment when I got rid of my thought. Because now the focus and the clarity, I think, is so important. Because when you create your future self that has achieved and is doing what you set out to do, and you focus on that and you live from that point as if it is happening now, then you get pulled. Then you have that magnetic vibrational match to your desired outcome. Because now when we lose the focus of what we want to do, we lose the vibration and we get sidetracked. And Napoleon Hill speaks about that, of course, you know, the desire, the focus, the concentration, and the determination. I'm going to do this. And I think it's very, very important to live from the end result. I've been playing around with this for the last 2 months, and it makes more and more sense. Because our reality now is a manifestation of our past thinking. First was the idea to move to Sweden. And then 4 months later, I'm in Sweden. It's a result of my thinking. And then it was to get this, to buy a house. A year later, I've got a house. But first is the idea. You know, there was the idea of a soul food cafe at some stage. And then a couple of days later, the link was there and we had a group. So.
Can I ask a question to Gada?
Yeah.
Sorry, Antje, was that?
Of course you can.
No, but I was just kind of where did you get
No,
to?
I'm finished. I'm finished.
Just wanted to double check. What I'm wondering about, Gada, when you say, you know, I'd like a job, I like to have that job within my field, within my expertise, and I'm wondering if you were to have a job like that, what would that mean? What would that bring you? What would that add to your life? How would that change things for the better? Because I'm wondering if you were to maybe get a little bit more clarity around what that might be and really focus on what it adds to your life and how you would feel if you had that, and you would make that kind of a daily thing to focus on, something will show up that will give you that, but it might not be quite that one particular job that you are now focusing on. It might be something else. And I don't know whether that helps or not, but it's, in the end, it's about what it will give you. That's the most important thing. How you get there might not, the more we focus, well, that's my experience. The more I focus on the how, the more stuck I get. And the less I achieve what I think I want. But if I focus on what I want, beyond all the things that I might encounter along the way that I need to deal with, the more happens that will actually make that happen. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, you're right. Definitely. The thing is, when I want to think of what kind of job and what it will bring to me, because currently I am involved with, you know, an opportunity for work and with other people, and I am working like full time because building on something that we hope it will generate a company and income, but it has been going for so long, and I have been working a lot, day and night and weekends, really, like more than a full time. And then sometimes I have my dips because sometimes I feel I'm going nowhere. In a way, it's bringing me knowledge and connections, and I'm learning a lot, and I'm taking classes in between to strengthen my skills and to be able to do a better job and better things. And of course, that lifts me up, but also I go down a lot because I feel I don't have anything tangible. I'm floating, and sometimes I feel I could be wasting my time, and then I will be going to zero. And sometimes I'm like, no, but maybe something will come up, and let's move on. But I feel like I'm in a circle and I don't know where it's taking me. And this uncertainty, sometimes it gets to me, it pulls me down, and I feel not confident and down.
Yeah, I can relate to that. And what do we do? See, this is the thing. What do we do? Okay, we obviously set out to our path. We have a plan. We have a vision. You know, we have an idea that we want to now bring in, and then something happens. It doesn't go fast enough. You know, there aren't enough opportunities. The job offer doesn't come up that suits you. Whatever, you know, there's health issues in between. There's papers don't get issues, you know, money doesn't come in. You know, you spend your time, but it's not generating an income. So these are all these kind of obstacles. And then we start, what do? We start doubting ourselves. That is so true. And then we wonder and we start doubting ourselves. And I think that is the key. When the self-doubt comes in, what do we do then? Do we then go back and say, yeah, the others are all younger? You know, I mean, a younger person might be cheaper in the salary, in the entry salary, but Hada, you have got so much more life experience. You know, that is invaluable. So then the chief of comparison comes in. Well, other coaches, they're so much better than I. You know, why would anybody come and work with me? You know, all these self-doubts. So what do we do? What do we do in those moments when the doubts come in? He's allowed. What do you do when the doubts come in?
Release.
That's it.
Release, put off the brain. Do something what is good. Relax. Go walking in nature. Think of totally other things.
Did you know that statistically speaking, if you study human behavior, the desire to give up only happens just before the breakthrough. Just before the breakthrough. When I learned that, when I heard that, I thought, wow, what a powerful reframe. Because now, when I get a wobble, okay, this is what I do. When I get a wobble, I say to myself, oh, I'm just about to break through. There's Mel, okay, I'm just about to break through. And because the mind can only hold one thought at a time, I feel, and it's about the awareness, I feel that self-doubt coming up, right? I wonder if this is all worth it. Yes, I'm just about to have my breakthrough. And everything changes, you know.
And often it comes when you release.
Yeah. And then
exactly then when you want something too hard. And then at a point you release and you do something totally other. Exactly then it comes.
It's very much about when the wobbles come, it's just leaning into them instead of fighting them, I think. It's very much about kind of, okay, I feel you. Come on then, you know, but I'm not my feelings and I'm not my thoughts. And that's something that I think I really need to keep in mind and keep reminding myself of. I am not my feelings. I'm not my thoughts. That doesn't mean I don't have feelings and I don't experience. I don't have thoughts and I don't experience feelings, but that's not me. So leaning into whatever the experience is while I have a wobble is part of the process of getting there. And if I think, oh, I might as well just give up because I feel shit and it's just not going the way I wanted at all, and I'm going to just not even bother anymore. Yeah, I like that, Angela. That's the moment when you're almost there. And I really love that.
Welcome, Melanie. Mel, hello. Yeah. Welcome. Join in.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi. How to overcome obstacles. Did you have an obstacle dialing in?
No, I basically read the message wrong.
Okay. All right. But you're here now. Welcome. You know, the question.
Thank you.
Rennie, you said that you're not your feelings and you're not your thoughts. So does everybody here know who they are? Did you make yourself a roadmap and a definition of who you are or who you want to be, your ideal self? This is also something that I'm playing around with in the last couple of months or weeks. Where is it now? Where is it now? Oh, there we go. And that's the mind map. That's the mind map of my ideal self. And these are all empowering I am statements, you know. And the other day I added 2 on there, which means, the one that I added on is said, I'm a good provider and I'm a good mother. And it's not that I feel like I'm a not good, it's not that I don't feel like a good mother, but now when the self-doubt and the wobble comes, it's very good. You know, it's very good to provide myself that I am, to provide myself with the support that I am a good provider. Okay, you get what I mean? You know, so these are the little handy tools that when you feel good, when you're in a good space, you write this down. And when you're in a not so good space, you get that out and you read it to yourself loud, because you can only hold one thought at a time. Every thought has got a physical reaction, thought, word, you know, your vibration, you hear yourself, you read it visual, you say it, you feel it, you hear it, audio. So you've got 3 senses already covered, and you feel the piece of paper. So you come into your body, right? So you've got 4 senses, and then you read it loud until you start to feel better. So, yeah, these are my tools that I work with, and they're actually really, really good. Mel, I wonder if Mel has got anything to jump in there, or you prefer to just listen in a bit.
I was just taking that in. I didn't catch all of it coming in. The internet was a little bit funny, but I just heard what you said about the mind map and using the senses of a piece of paper. And I think that's absolutely beautiful for the times when some of those thoughts might not be quite of service, and feeling a lot less in the you that you know you are, for instance. I really resonate with that. I think that's really powerful to then bring that piece of paper out. Absolutely. That's really beautiful that you've also added the provider in there right now. Love it, alongside the I am a good mother.
Yeah. Yeah, the good mother story was a big one.
Oh yeah. I hear you.
But with obstacles.
Huh?
But with obstacles every time in the beginning. My experience is with persistence and really focus on what I want, and a little patience, really often things develop. So if I hold focus, it really is like it attracts that the things, the doors get open and something like that. Yes, persistence.
Persistence, yeah. When the going gets tough, the tough gets going. That is so true. That is so true. It's one of my favorite sayings. Seriously, you know. Can I share with you? I will. Not can. Yes, I will. I'm starting. Yeah. Anyway, my absolute favorite one is the uplifting, lofty questions, empowering questions. And I basically only have 2 that I really use. How can this get any better? And what can I learn from this? That's it. That's it.
I can hear Steve. I can hear Steve's voice.
Beautiful, Steve. Exactly. But what a difference, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Michael Beckwith also does this. You know? But how can this get any better? And I've used this so many times in so many, you know, in so many really tragic situations and real stuff ups, you know. So then you look, you know, when everything goes wrong, so you just end up sitting there laughing because it's just ridiculous what just happened. So you just look at this and say, okay, how can this get any better? You know?
I really love that lofty question, and I use it as well, and not as much anymore as I used to do. But I think one thing that is really important is to really connect with the feeling of it, though, with kind of the sentiment that it brings up. Because if I'm in a frustrated place with myself and I'm thinking about how could it maybe get any better, or there are so many things to be grateful for, if I can only stay in my head with that, then I still feel frustrated and it doesn't match. So the only way to then kind of transform that frustration into something that has an opening for it to get better is to also dive into that feeling of gratitude, or in that kind of realm of possibilities that I know exists, and really connect with that. So I need to also then let go of the frustration or the anger or the disappointment or the sadness or the whatever kind of experience I'm having. And that's not always easy, but that's my aim. That's what I'm hoping to achieve.
Yeah. And what about trust?
Mm.
Hara, how big is your trust at the moment in your desired outcome?
The thing is, from my experience, when you trust, it happens.
Good.
Definitely. But sometimes we get sidetracked. But it is important, yeah.
Because the trust again is a feeling. Trust is not rational. You can't argue for trust. But why? Because, I believe,
I
know. So, and that's a feeling, and that's a heart-centered feeling.
Yeah.
And where's your biggest electromagnetic force? The heart.
The heart.
It's the heart, the heart, the heart. And then you become a match, become a vibrational match to your outcome. And then you can attract each other and then meet and have a celebration. Yeah. So how do we do this with physical? How do we do this with physical challenges? Because this is not, we now all have intellectual projects,
For me, when we talk about physical obstacles, it will be when my energy level is really low. And I feel sometimes I procrastinate and feel really down and no energy to continue.
Have you seen my overcome procrastination by doing nothing? Have you listened to it?
I started it, but I don't know, something happened and I thought
you procrastinated.
I have procrastinated on that one as well, but I'll fit it in on the weekend.
It's half an hour, okay. It's half an hour, just in case you're wondering. So you need half an hour. So go ahead and procrastinate about it. This is lovely. Okay, so now if we look at physical, like energy, low energy level, the first thing that comes into mind, are you getting the nutrients? Does your body have the nutrients? And Hara knows that I'm passionate about supplements, but it makes a huge difference. If I wouldn't have had the supplements in the last 6 months, I would be in the psychiatric ward with burnout, because I could feel it. I could feel it. And I said to Lisa at that stage, I said, whoa, I really got to put the stop on here. I think I'm heading for adrenal fatigue. So she just looks at me with the most kindness, that you've got that already, just take your supplements. I said, really? So I spoke to my other friend who's a great homeopathic practitioner, I said, I think I'm heading for adrenal fatigue. And she says, you've got that long already. So I thought, sure, but this is two of my trusted healthcare practitioners. So I just really made sure that I take my supplements, and 2-3 weeks later, I really felt the difference. And what did? I dropped them again, and whoops, I slammed it again. So, but the bottom line is, when it comes to the physical body, is my body getting the nutrients to sustain my incredible mind and the incredible energy that I'm downloading and holding? Because you probably heard me say that you can't put a Ferrari engine into a beach buggy chassis. It's going to blow. And when you do a lot of spiritual work, a lot of energetic work, a lot of mental, emotional shifting, every thought has got a physical reaction. So the body needs to then have enough water, enough exercise, enough oxygen, enough nutrients to eliminate, to restructure, rebuild the cells and hold that frequency. Yeah, absolutely, very, very important.
And with that, I think it's also about trusting that my body is capable of so much more than I give it credit for in my days and in my the way I kind of abuse my body, you know, in with a lack of sleep sometimes, or with not giving myself the right nutrition, or, you know, so I'm trying to be as aware as I can of making sure that this beautiful vehicle that I'm in, I want it to be keep going for a long time. So it does need the maintenance, and it's just a daily thing. And I know I don't always do it justice. So yeah, that does sometimes show up in all kinds of physical expressions, luckily not in the sense of disease, but sometimes more like Dada said, the energy levels not quite being where I would like them to be.
And this is beautiful. This is a beautiful hook into my announcement. Did you forget about that, or did I keep you?
I forgot. I could feel it coming.
I teased them this earlier and said I've got an announcement, because it's about the body, because I am putting together in a hell of a speed for next Saturday. I don't have the times yet. I haven't sat down to work out the times yet. A masterclass, a free masterclass of Blitz the Bulge, how not to overeat this season. So to sustain ourselves in the best possible way and address emotional and stressful and habitual overeating. And I'm super, super excited about this, because it's about the body. You know, we're going into celebration, and how can we celebrate by celebrating our physical body as well, and not adding obstacles around us in food that we don't even like, and you know, and getting triggered and stuff like that. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to put this out this moment as I've got marketing material, and obviously you're all invited. You're invited.
Is that on the 4th of December?
Is that next Saturday?
Because I'm traveling, then I won't be able to join.
You're traveling?
Yeah, I'm going to see a friend of mine. It's her birthday then, so I'm going to make an early start. And well, depending on what time it is, if it's like really early in the morning, I can maybe join.
I'll probably make two. Yes, it is the 4th of Saturday. I'll probably make two, one for the American time zone. Mel, where about are you?
I'm GMT Madeira,
Madeira.
so I'm
okay.
an hour behind.
Okay, good. Okay, so you can do both. So I think I do one for America and one in the morning for Australia, and the European can obviously go back. So I'm very excited about that, because that's also an obstacle. You know, this is the obstacles that we put ourselves.
Sounds great.
Yeah, in our minds, and it starts again with the mind.
Yeah.
And then we don't sit with the guilt and shame and the self-doubt and yeah.
And then all these kind of, oh my gosh, you know, these New Year's resolutions that are based on overeating and on low energy and all these kind of things. That's why. Well, a few years ago, and because I don't eat meat, so I don't do the traditional kind of turkey dinner and all that stuff. And I'd love to be able to attend. I'll just need to see what timings there are and see how that kind of can help me still fine tune where I'm already at with kind of eating around parties and festive seasons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Usually I'm the one who loses weight. instead
We
of
don't lose weight.
not losing weight, but I'm not the one who's diving into all the chocolates and the, I don't drink, and so there's a lot of stuff that I don't do, and I know if I do, I'll feel crap anyway. So,
So is Christmas coming up an obstacle?
well, it's an interesting one for me because as you know, I'm now on my own in this gorgeous house in France. And I've had a really challenging week when my husband was here, or I should say ex, really. We're still married, but he is my ex now. And they're all coming down for Christmas. They're all coming here for Christmas. So both my ex and our two children, and my daughter's bringing her boyfriend as well. And they're all going to be here for 10 days. And I'm a little bit kind of about that. There's bits that I'm looking forward to, but there's also bits that I'm dreading a little bit. So I'm just kind of, leaning into that and like, okay, I want to see my kids. That's the most important thing. I would love to spend time with them over Christmas. And it's my daughter's 20th birthday on Christmas Day as well. So that's also why it's really important for her that we're all together. So we're going to make it happen, and we're going to make it good.
So what I suggest is way before the time, roundabout in the next few days, write down your ideal self, how you, in your best performance, sail through those 10 days.
I'm already working.
You are being the most perfect Rennie that you could possibly be, and perfect in balance, vibrant, happy, right? For you. So that everything you are just, whatever happens, just deal with it. Write it down so you have it. Okay.
I might have to do a mind map around that.
Exactly. And write on the mirror, where the bathroom, where everybody goes, and on the kitchen, how can this get any better? Because then everybody reads it. The mirror is such a good place for this because everybody reads it. And if you want that everybody reads it, write it right in the middle, so it is right here, so that if you want to look in the mirror, you actually got to move. How can this get any better? And then let's see what happens, because it's all about us. And we're all women here. Mel, I don't know if you've got kids and husbands and families and...
I do have a hubby. I don't have any children, but yeah. And things are a bit different on Madeira right now. So I'm not going to get to see family this year. So yeah, there's quite a lot happening with restrictions at the moment for the next at least month. So we just don't know what's going on here right now. But still, I love this. How can this get any better? I'm really hearing you, and my own focus right now is about bringing my own focus back to myself, moment to moment, and keying into that compassionate awareness around nourish to flourish and non-attachment in a very sort of gentle way with my own inner patience for myself, let alone anybody else. Just feels very, very potent and really, really important, especially around this time of year. I really hear that. So I love the map you're saying to write out, write it all down. It's great.
Good, fantastic, yeah.
Mel, maybe we can do a session on that on Saturday when we speak. Maybe we can do a little bit of mind mapping together.
Oh, I'd love it. Thank you. Really appreciate that. So, yeah, thanks.
Oh, fantastic. And we're coming up to the hour. So if I now recap how to overcome obstacles is reminding ourselves on our strength of what we can do, reminding our why we started in the first place, what would it feel like if the desired outcome is achieved, and then just really make a conscious choice of how we feel about the obstacle and how we deal with it. Are we going down the, oh no, poor me, this happens, I knew this was going to happen, blah, 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 blah. Are we going to go, how can this get any better? Because at the end of the day, a bucket of manure, for one, it stinks, and the other one says, yes, fertilizer. It's the same thing.
Can I make one addition to that? And
Of
it's
course.
something that Mel is probably very familiar with as well. There are 3 questions that you can ask that I think are really useful. What do you want to achieve? What do you want to avoid? And what's the next best step?
Right.
And
Absolutely.
yeah, Mel and I did the same. We know these questions, but they can be real quick in helping you clarify on, what is it that I can do? So what do you want to achieve? What do you want to avoid? What is the next best thing you can do?
Fantastic. Good. Thank you, ladies, for all of this. Very interesting exchange. I'll definitely feel empowered. And I'm sending lots of love to all the other missing peeps here that wanted to be here. But this is this time of the year. And for that, we have the recording. I shall post it in a moment into the chat group. And then I will keep you up to date about the masterclass, which will going to happen next Saturday.
Are you going to put that in the Soul Food Cafe chat as well? Or is it going to be on your Facebook
I
page?
think I'm probably going to put it in there. I want to keep the chat very factual, actually, so I want it to be, not a chatty chat so much, because then important announcements get lost. But I probably will put it in. And obviously invite as many people as possible, go and share it. I'm going to do the marketing material now in the next few days, day or two, so that at least by Saturday I can send it out. Awesomeness. Mel, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I'm very late coming into the call when I realised, but thank you so much for the really kind warmth of you all, and look forward to being able to actually see you in person, and so you can see me too on the next call. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. And you posted your video, so we kind of know who you are, and that is a lovely picture, by the way, in any case. So very nice. And all of you, thank you for coming and contributing, and have a super day. And yeah, what can you learn from this?
Thanks, everyone.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.